Hey, Earl here. There's one piece of paper at your job that decides whether you retire at 58 or 65. You filled it out on day one, probably half listening to the HR lady talk about parking passes, and you ain't looked at it since. It's called the W-4, and in the last video about your tax refund, we did the math on what that little form costs the average working person. The total ran around 300 grand by retirement. And that's quiet money leaking out of every paycheck for years. A bunch of you commented asking the same question. Earl, fine, I get the math. But how the heck do I actually fix it? I don't want to mess up my taxes. I don't want to owe the IRS in April. I don't want to pay an accountant $150 for 15 minutes of work. Fair questions. So today I'm going to walk you through the whole thing, start to finish, in 5 minutes flat. Stick with me, because I'm going to show you exactly which boxes to fill in, exactly what tool to use, and the one mistake that trips up half the folks who try this on their own. I used to be terrified of tax forms. Anything with a number on it and the words Internal Revenue Service up top, I'd shove in a drawer like a snake just slithered out of it. Took me embarrassing long to figure out the W-4 ain't a tax return. It don't get filed with the government. It don't go on your record. It's just a note from you to your employer that tells them how much tax to pull out of every check. You can change it anytime you want, as many times as you want, and nobody at the IRS even knows you did it. Let me introduce you to Roy. Roy's a route driver for a beverage company out of Tennessee. 21 years, he's been delivering cases to bars and restaurants up and down I-40. Roy filled out his W-4 back in 2005 when he was 25, single, no kids, renting a place above his uncle's garage. He marked himself single, 0 allowances, signed it, and forgot it ever existed. Now Roy's 46. He's married. He's got 2 kids. He's got a house with a mortgage. His wife works part-time at a hospital cafeteria. Roy's whole life looks nothing like it did in 2005, but his W-4 still does. The form thinks Roy is a single guy with no dependents and no deductions. The IRS pulls money out of his check every 2 weeks, like it's still the year his uncle's couch was his furniture. Roy gets a refund every spring of about $3,600, and he thinks he's winning. He ain't winning. He's just getting his own money back without interest. If that hits a nerve, hit the like button real quick. It helps more working folks find this, and it costs you less than a pack of gum. Here's what Roy did one Saturday morning. He sat down at his kitchen table with his last paycheck stub and his last tax return. The whole job took 5 minutes total. Step 1 was opening the laptop. Roy went to irs.gov and typed Tax Withholding Estimator into the search bar at the top of the page. That's a free tool the IRS built that does the math for you. The whole calculator runs about 3 minutes if you got your stuff in front of you. Step 2 was answering the questions. The estimator asks easy stuff. How much do you make? How much does your spouse make? How many kids you got under 17? How much have you already paid in taxes this year? You read the numbers right off your pay stub and your last return. Don't guess. Look at the actual paper. That's the whole job. Step 3 was reading the answer. The estimator spits out a number. It tells you the exact dollar amount to put on your W-4 to make your refund come out close to 0 next year. In Roy's case, the estimator told him to update his marital status to married filing jointly and list his 2 kids as dependents. The point is, the estimator does the thinking. You just do the typing. Step 4 was the W-4 itself. Roy grabbed a fresh form from his HR lady. You can also download one straight from irs.gov in about 10 seconds. He wrote his name at the top, checked the box for married filing jointly, listed his 2 kids on the dependent line, signed it, and handed it back. He was done before his coffee got cold. Now here's the one part most folks miss, and it's the screw-up that turns a smart move into a big April tax bill. If you and your spouse both work, the W-4 has a specific question about that in Step 2 of the form. You got to tell the estimator about both jobs, or check the box on the W-4 that says there are 2 earners in the household. Skip that part, and the form thinks you only got 1 income coming in. Your withholding comes out way too low. and you owe the IRS in April. The estimator handles this just fine if you answer honest. Just don't lie about it being only you. Once Roy got his W-4 changed, his next paycheck had about $150 extra in it. 2 checks a month came out to $300 more in his account every month. That's the cash that used to disappear into the IRS's pocket every 2 weeks for 2 decades. But here's the part the refund video already warned you about. If that money just shows up in your checking account, it's going to get spent on pizza and oil changes, and something on Amazon you'll forget about by Tuesday. So Roy made the second move that ties the whole thing together. He logged into his Roth IRA account, set up an automatic transfer for $300 on payday Friday, and walked away. The money leaves his check-in before he ever sees it. That's the same trick the government was running on him for 21 years, except now Roy is the one running it on himself. That's the whole play. The W-4 took 5 minutes. The auto transfer took 2 more. Roy was done before lunch on a Saturday. I spent a chunk of my life making bad decisions about money, and almost every one of them came from not understanding how a thing worked. The W-4 ain't complicated. It's a little piece of paper with 8 or 9 fields on it, and the IRS even built you a free calculator to fill it out right. There's no mystery here. There's just a leak, and now you got the wrench. Here's your homework. This week, not someday, set a 5-minute timer on your phone. Pull up irs.gov on your laptop. Find the Tax Withholding Estimator. Run the numbers with your last pay stub in your hand. When the timer goes off, you'll be most of the way done. Then come down to the comments and type plug, along with how much extra you think used to leak out of every paycheck. $50, $200, whatever your number lands at. Make it real. When you see somebody else's number down there, give them a thumbs up. We are all plugging the same leak with the same wrench. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Real math for real people. No hype, no crypto, no just make 6 figures nonsense. I'll see you in the next one.